Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. I'm Goldbridge and this is your latest Manchester United transfer news plus our preview of the Arsenal game, which we'll be doing straight away because this is a significant game in the FA Cup. But we have got significant updates around AC Milan, Marcus Rashford and Kvaratskhelia of Napoli, who is available. David Ornstein has tweeted it out. He is available, but has given a significant update that doesn't include Manchester United. And I would pose the question: we always get told by we always get told by Ineos and Manchester United, and we get briefed that if an opportunity presents itself, we will act. Well, here is an opportunity in January for Manchester United to get involved in a race for a player that we've been looking at for ages that would be perfect for our system. And I say perfect for our system. Kvaratskhelia, if you know anything about him, would be absolutely perfect in a two behind a striker. And it is an opportunity. And apparently, although we've been linked to this opportunity, Man United are not in for him. It's Chelsea and Liverpool. What are your thoughts about that? Also, a Premier League club coming in for Marcus Rashford and an AC Milan development, which may escalate their move for Rashford as well. Lots to get into in the transfer side of things, but I want to just give the Arsenal game its couple of minutes it deserves, maybe a little bit longer. This is an opportunity for Ruben Amorim to get his revenge. And if Newcastle hadn't have beaten Arsenal on Tuesday, I would be saying, as confident as I am going into this game, and I'm actually speaking to Robbie from AFTV tomorrow morning on That's Football, so you'll be able to watch that there, and I'll be saying this to him, I'm confident we can get a result against Arsenal on Sunday, but let's not forget, they hadn't lost a game at home all season up until Newcastle. So that confidence has to be leveled off in a certain sense and balanced. But can somebody just tell me if I'm right? Because football's changing all the bloody time. I was looking at that World Club Cup thing a few minutes ago. You realise it goes on as long as a World Cup. It goes on from the middle of June to the middle of July, and there's shitloads of games. I just don't know what FIFA are doing. I really don't. I'm so glad we're not in it. But the new FA Cup rules, I take it there's no replay. I take it it goes to penalties. Is there extra time? I don't understand what happens in the FA Cup anymore. You used to get replays, then you didn't, then you did. So I don't know if we get a third round FA Cup replay. But I think we are more than equipped to go to Arsenal on Sunday and get a result. I look at that United side and there's no reason to change it. I would say that maybe Yoro is knocking on the door a little bit, but I do think that that team is good enough. I look at Agate and Mainu in the midfield with Bruno and Ahmad, and I think that can give Arsenal problems. I look at that back five, and I think it's capable of not conceding goals. I think this is a team that is capable of beating Arsenal on Sunday. Now, I'm just looking here. It says the FA Cup third round takes place this weekend. Blah, blah, blah. The start of the clubs, blah, blah, blah. Are there FA Cup replays? No. They've been removed from the competition as of the start of this season. Therefore, I presume third round games that are level after 90 minutes go to extra time and pay penalties. So you do get extra time and then it goes to penalties. There you go. So we'll get a result on Saturday, which is what Paul said, extra time and penalties. Yeah, I'm going to go with a Manchester United win. I think Arsenal are still a very good team, but I think that this is the perfect test for us after Liverpool to continue our good run. But I also think it's a unique game in itself because we played at the Emirates in the middle of December about a month ago, and I'd say for the 45 minutes we played really well. We had good possession, but the second half we got done on set pieces. Now, Amorim has spoken about the naivety of Manchester United on set pieces, and every set piece we had against Arsenal at the Emirates, they looked like scoring. So this is a huge opportunity to exact revenge on a team that we did quite well against, but they schooled us on set pieces. So I think this is a real opportunity for us to show progression against an Arsenal side that won't have Saka. So I think that that team and what it did against Liverpool and what we learnt against them a month ago should be going into this game expecting to win. Now, I'm not disrespecting Arsenal in any way, shape or form. They are still a good team. People want to write them off and start saying Arteta out. I'd love to have what Arsenal have had over the last few years, even though we've won trophies and they haven't. They are one of the best teams in Europe. They're certainly one of the best teams in England, and they're going to be difficult to beat. But this is the perfect game for Manchester United straight after Liverpool, and I'm confident that we can get something on Sunday. So I'm going to say, by hook or by crook, by extra time or penalties, Manchester United are going to knock Arsenal out on Sunday. The draw doesn't make any sense because it can't be a draw. It's win or lose. And I'm going to say Manchester United win. As Dwight says, we've had a full week of training as well, and we've had no games. Arsenal played, obviously, against Newcastle. I don't think there's any excuses. And normally, I think I'd go into this Arsenal game and say we're underdogs, and if we could get a result, it would be a real positive. But I actually think we've got to go into this game and get a result. We're not going to do anything in the league this year. Nothing. So we've got the Europa League and the FA Cup. 2 opportunities to get European football, which is absolutely essential next year. And also, we are the holders of this trophy. So I don't want to feel negative going into this game. I don't want to feel submissive going into this game. I want to go into this game with confidence and aggression against an Arsenal team that I think looks a little bit vulnerable. We are the FA Cup holders. That is a decent team. And we're not going to do anything in the league. So FA Cup and Europa League are really important to us now. It's difficult, but if we can come out of this with a result, we can really start to kick on. I'm going for a Man United win. Am I deluded? I don't know, but that's what I'm going to go with. And I think it's going to be a cracking game, and I can't wait for it. Right, that's my prediction. Man United win. Let's get to the latest transfer news because there is quite a lot coming in. Arteta! This is breaking news. Yeah, there's a... You know what? I know lots of Arsenal fans, and most of them are fantastic. But there are some of them that are massively entitled, and I don't get it. I just don't get this. You haven't won the league for, 20 years? You hadn't been in the Champions League for years. He's got you in there regularly. He's got you in title races regularly, and they're still moaning. Know your place. Know your place. And hopefully we can knock them out. But look, from an Arsenal point of view, let's not forget, they're probably going to get knocked out the Carabao Cup. They're probably not going to win the league. They probably won't win the Champions League. So you could say this is their last chance of silverware as well. So it won't be easy. They won't be taking it easy on us. But they played on Tuesday against Newcastle. They're playing us on Sunday. And they've got Spurs on the Wednesday. And they've got a bit of an injury crisis. And they're tired. We have to take that opportunity. Marco says, do you think it's right that Rasmus starts? I get the criticism. It's a fair point. But for me, he is a better number 9 than anything that we've got. I don't think Xerxes is a number 9. So if you want somebody that's going to run and occupy the centre-backs and run the line and hold the ball up, etc., we've only got one option. We definitely need 2, but we don't have anybody else that can do that. Xerxes not that player. Rashford's not going to play. So in the absence of bringing anybody else in, and hopefully we will do soon, I think Rasmus is the one that would start for me. Look, if you want to bench Rasmus, that's up to you. But all I'm saying is, who are you going to play in that role? It's as simple as that. Let's talk transfers, though. Right. Lots of stuff going on today about Napoli's Kvaratskhelia. There's been talk of a swap with Marcus Rashford. There's been talk of Man United bidding for him. Where are we at? Well, David Ornstein in the last hour has tweeted this. Liverpool could consider a move to sign Kvaratskhelia if he leaves Napoli in January. Liverpool not actively seeking the winger, but admire him, alert to the situation, and may contend if it becomes a market opportunity. PSG and Chelsea also among interested clubs. No mention of Manchester United. So what you've got here is Kvaratskhelia is clearly a potential mover in January. That is why people are talking about it. That is why David Ornstein's talking about. I mean, to be honest with you, David Ornstein wouldn't get involved in anything like this unless there was something going to happen. I think this completely and utterly proves what United still are with the Glazers here in Ineos. Read what David Ornstein's saying. What he's basically saying is Liverpool aren't actively looking to buy anybody, but if it's true that Napoli are willing to sell Kvaratskhelia in January, then they will enter the race as an opportunity because they like the player and the opportunity has presented itself. So basically Liverpool's position is they're not looking to do any business in January, but this is a player they like, and if he's available in January, they will make a move. And this echoes what I was saying last week. The January transfer window, as much as Manchester United, you know what it's like? It's like if I don't know if you've ever been in this situation. You know when you're on a night out with the lads and you got, one of the lads says, "Oh, it's a rubbish night, isn't it? Maybe we should all just go home at 11." And you're all like, "What's he on about? We're staying out, we're going clubbing." And he just wants to go home and he's trying to convince everyone it's a rubbish night. I get that with Man United in the January transfer window. It's like, there's no value in it. You're better off doing it in the summer. You can't do good deals in January. That's why. And then you're looking at Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. Kvaratskhelia available. It's a myth. It's a bloody myth that Man United try to sell to us every year as fans. There's no value in January. We don't like to do business in January. You're better off waiting until the summer. And ultimately, it comes down to the fact that they don't want to spend money because we're owned by the Glazers. And as I said to you this morning, we're focusing on summer targets like Mendes and whoever and Gyökeres, right? In the summer, when we don't qualify for Europe, we don't have any money for our summer targets because we didn't qualify for Europe because we didn't spend in January. You've got to utilise the January transfer window. You can't box yourself off and go, we only want to spend summer money in the summer. You've got to be alive to opportunities in January. And here is an opportunity. Now, I don't actually think we would beat Liverpool or Chelsea or PSG to Kvaratskhelia anyway. But we're not even in the bloody race. Because if we were, David Ornstein would put it there. And I feel it'd be a brilliant signing for Liverpool, Mac. A really brilliant signing. But this is what happens when you're a club that's switched on. They're not top of the league and top of the Champions League by accident. They're top of the league and they're top of the Champions League, and Chelsea are in the top 4 because when opportunities present themselves, they take them. Even Man City are about to do 2 deals in January. So this ridiculous notion that we've become accustomed to at Manchester United, that you can't do business in January, is actually hindering us more than it used to. And it used to hinder us a lot. But it's really impacting us now because more and more clubs are making significant signings in January. It used to be you can't get a good player in January. It's desperation. You've got to get a little bit of luck. But nowadays, it's really not like that. More and more clubs are selling in January when you wouldn't expect them to do it. I mean, Napoli are in a bloody title race and they are openly willing to sell one of their best players. So suddenly, you've blown the bloody doors off. If Napoli are willing to sell a player like that in a title race, then who is not available in January? And this will be horror to Man United because they'll be really like, shit, how are we going to excuse this? But it takes me back to what I was getting frustrated about last night. We're focusing on a left back in the summer. The position we haven't had a bloody left back for 18 months in. There is no logical reason to be putting your business off till the summer other than we're so badly run that we haven't got any bloody money until it resets again for the financial fair play year in June. And that's what the problem is. So that's just down to being badly run, isn't it? I don't dispute the fact that we probably can't spend any money at the moment until the FFP year resets on June the 30th. But that's just being a badly run club. Why can Liverpool jump on an opportunity? So what we're basically saying is, every January, we can't spend money because we've spent it all in the previous summer. So any opportunity comes up in January, we have to watch other clubs. What if Atalanta say we're selling Ederson? We're just going to have to sit there and watch him go to Man City, aren't we? Because we're not prepared. Because we're being run badly. I don't understand why certain fans and certain media outlets sit back and go, to be fair, they can't spend any money till June because of FFP. And again, it's just awful journalism because they're not asking the question why. They're just going, they can't spend money until June because of FFP. And what they should be going is, why can't they spend any money until June and FFP? Because they've spent all their money. They're a badly run club. But there are other clubs spending money in January. And it pisses me off because I'm not saying we get Kvaratskhelia, but there might have been an opportunity there. There might have been. They might have really liked Rashford and they might have said, we'll take Rashford and 20 million for Kvaratskhelia. And then you get him. So we're not in the race, according to David Ornstein, so forget about it. All those people who were getting massively excited about a player that would have been really suitable in our system could well be wearing a Liverpool or Chelsea shirt by the end of January. And the question has to be, how do we close the gap on our rivals who are already miles ahead of us when they're getting better players than we are? And also, let me just say about Chelsea, they're a club that 2 years ago bought a lot of players in January. Where are they now? Comfortably in the top 4. Where are we? The team that never signs a player in January, consistently not in the top 6. Maybe there's a theme here. Maybe there is. The Mount signing still kills me, says Kazim. We paid £50 million to a rival for a player who was free a year after, and in that first year he barely played for us. Yeah, Kazim as well. And not only did we pay £55 million to Chelsea, we gave Chelsea 55 million of pure profit. Like pure profit as well. We massively helped them out. We gave a rival 55 million of pure profit for their homegrown player who was out of contract in 12 months. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I'd say, are we partly owned by Chelsea? Because that deal was just so good for them and so shit for us. Dave K, welcome to Members Club. FIFA Club World Cup pays 50 million to every team in it, says Trishan. Man City and Chelsea. What happens if Chelsea get found guilty by the Premier League as well? Do they get to play in that World Cup? I don't know. Love the content, Mark. Great to see Ahmad sign till 2030. Yeah, we did the reaction to that, Cree. Very, very happy about that as well. Thanks for your comments. So yeah, Kvaratskhelia and Man United, absolutely no link at all from David Ornstein. He's talking about Liverpool and he is talking about Chelsea and PSG. He is not talking about Manchester United. And I must say that it massively pisses me off because we get lied to all the bloody time. And there are certain United fans out there who vocally kiss the arse of the Glazers and Ineos year in, year out. And they quote tweet and they talk about Man United will act in the market if there's an opportunity. And we don't. We don't act in the market if an opportunity is there. We don't do that at all. And here is an opportunity being missed yet again for the type of player that would be absolutely perfect for our system. On a lighter note, potentially, and let me just say as well, I wasn't on the afternoon show, but I did see the talk of a Kvaratskhelia and Rashford swap. Very difficult deal to do. I don't even know if it's beneficial for Man United in an FFP point of view anyway, but very difficult deal to do. Talking about Marcus Rashford, 2 developments here that are quite interesting. First of all, I thought it was a load of crap, but this actually is a standalone article on the BBC website, bbc.co.uk football, 4 hours ago. Not gossip, they've actually wrote an article on this, which is quite unusual. They're not the Mirror, they're not the Sun. They don't normally write standalone articles about transfers unless they've got some sort of information. So they're saying that West Ham have expressed an interest in Marcus Rashford. The deal seems unlikely. However, West Ham are keen to improve their squad after Graham Potter's come in, and attacking targets are being looked at, including Evan Ferguson. I think this is rather interesting because I don't know. We can't loan a player to a Premier League club. We can't loan anybody, but we can sell. And I'm just thinking here, like, would Rashford go to... you know what? I wish I'd said this before. I don't think. I think Rashford's way too. How do I put this without being horrible? I think he thinks he's better than West Ham, and he probably is, to be fair. So I don't think he'd sign for them. I think Rashford will think Milan on loan, shop window, summer. I'll get a better move than West Ham. So. Yeah, I'd say that's why it's unlikely, because West Ham are going to know we're not going to loan him to them, but we would sell, and maybe West Ham have got the money to do it. I don't know. I don't know what we'd sell Rashford for, but if West Ham offered us 35 million and they took his wages, I think we'd probably do it. But I think he'll go to Italy. I think he will go to Italy. And it's interesting as well. Another development. Let me just tell you this, because this is quite interesting as well. Where was it? I saw it earlier. Yes, it's being reported from Italy, Gazzetta dello Sport, that RB Leipzig are in advanced talks with AC Milan for Okafor. So. They're looking at a loan deal with an option to buy. This departure would free up space and money for AC Milan to go for Rashford. So that is another story that's edging Marcus Rashford closer to Italy. Now, look, I don't actually care how this works out. I'm not that bothered. Where he goes, whether it's AC Milan or Juventus. And as I said, for me, there is no personal feeling, there is no agenda. I just make my mind up on performance and what's best for Manchester United. But I will say this, I would like us to go for David Luiz at Juventus, and I would like to do a deal with them so that Rashford goes there and we get David Luiz. But honestly, I don't really care where he goes. I would want Rashford to pick the best move for him, because if he picks the best move for him and he's happy, then he's on loan. Then in the summer he'll hopefully get the move that he wants, and we can all part ways. Douglas Luiz, sorry. Yeah, so I don't really care where Rashford goes. I just hope he does the right deal that's the right deal for him, because ultimately I think that'll be the right deal for all of us at the end of the day. They use Ahmad as the new signing. Getting rid of players who are happy to leave isn't impressive. It's all spin. We've never been good at doing deals, says John. I like this from John. Get your comments in. So we've done the preview. West Ham interested in Rashford. Kvaratskhelia not coming to United, according to David Ornstein's latest update. And AC Milan are selling a player to help them get Rashford. Get your comments in on how you're feeling about the situation at Man United at the moment. Because I think John, Zayn Miasi's in the chat. How you doing, Zayn? Happy New Year. He says Arsenal to win. No surprises there, if you know who Zayn is. Zayn was the 2023 Mojo. So Zayn used to be in the Super Chats big time. But Mojo came along and beat him. But he does show up every now and again, and he's a good lad, Zayn, apart from being an Arsenal fan. I don't think I've ever seen Zayn and Mojo in the same chat, actually. Maybe something's going on there. But Zayn is Arteta. You're right, just Kevin. Right, John has made a good comment here. It is a super chat as well. Thank you very much, John. And he is a member because he's got a badge there. So well done. Even Zayn's a member. Zayn's got a member's badge as well. Shout out. He's a bit like Rub, the Chelsea fan. Lovely stuff. Matthew McFadden says he's alive. And Drip Football says Zayn fell off. Oh, that's not very hard. That's not very nice. I like Zayn. But anyway, what I was saying is John has made a really good point. He said they've used Ahmad as the new signing, and getting rid of players who are happy to leave isn't impressive. It's all spin. Now, let's play devil's advocate here. Look at Manchester United's transfer activity. Wan-Bissaka wanted to go. Scott McTominay wanted to go. Donny van der Beek wanted to go. Is it impressive when you remove players that want to go anyway? Marcus Rashford wants to go. Casemiro wants to go. Anthony wants to play football. Is it impressive when you're moving players that want to go? So, you know what? I think John makes a good point, because I've said Ineos have done a lot wrong, but I've quite liked what they did in the summer transfer window. But John gives a more even balance, to be fair. The sales that I thought were good, McTominay and Wan-Bissaka brought much needed funds in. Those players wanted to go. Scott McTominay said it a few weeks ago. I wanted to go. Wan-Bissaka wanted to go. And Casemiro going and getting rid of his wage is impressive, but he wants to go. Marcus Rashford has said he wants to go. So actually, John, maybe I need to rein it in a little bit here, because if I sit here and say, you know what, no matter what, you've got to say the transfer activity is good in January if we get rid of Rashford and Casemiro, well, you could get rid of them, John, because they want to go. Their agents are making phone calls. All they're doing to United is saying, will you let me go? Of course we bloody will. So, yeah, you're right. Ahmad, if Ahmad's contract is the only bit of business we do, and then we remove a couple of players that want to go, what's innovative and, amazing about that? I suppose you're probably right. Dark Thought says, is Garnacho staying? Yes, he will not be going. Zane says, Happy New Year. Big up, Zane. Garnacho won't go in January. We'd be foolish to move Rashford, Garnacho and Anthony all on in January and not replace them. And at the moment, there is no talk of anybody coming in for that. Now, look, if PSG said we don't want Kvaratskhelia, we want Garnacho, and they gave us 50 million quid and we use that to get Kvaratskhelia, then maybe something could happen. But I think that is very, very unlikely. Would you take Tammy Abraham if given the chance, says Chashas? No, not for me. There's a lot of people saying no in the chat. Nadeem, Josh says absolutely not. Hell no, says Drip Football. Tammy is on loan to AC Milan from Roma, so it can't happen, says Trishan. And Aki says absolutely never. I wouldn't be going after Tammy Abraham, to be honest with you. And for obvious reasons, we won't. But I like the idea of Moani if we can do it, but we'll have to wait and see. Sahil says, Adeyemi, Gordon or Nico Williams in the summer. What are we just like? What we're doing in the summer? Are we on drugs or something? Because we're not getting any of them. You represent three good players there that I would be very happy to take any of them at Manchester United, but we're absolutely not getting any of them at Man United. I'd love Anthony Gordon at United because he's Premier League proven, he's exactly what we need, and his work rate and mentality is fantastic. But Nico Williams and Adeyemi wouldn't be bad either. We just won't end up with those types of players. Mark, where's Derek? Well, he was on there. He is here. He's here, look. There he is. Yeah, I'm not messing around with Derek tonight. I'm not in the mood. Derek can come out when it's. Oh, he's not happy now. Look, I've upset him. Let's put him here. Get your questions in. Garnacho should start in favour of Martinez and played the low left centre-back and Garnacho left wing-backs is safe. No, I think for the Arsenal game, we just start with the same team that played against Liverpool. I think, as I said, I think the only player would be Yoro that would potentially fight. Any progress on incomings for January, says Yankee? No. You know what? I desperately do not want Manchester United to be the Man United that we've always known. But my fear is that although nobody will report it out of ignorance or fear or whatever, Joel Glazer, I think, is still massively involved in the day-to-day running of Manchester United. And therefore, I think the way that we operate is still very similar. Now, it's not just been reported by me. It's been reported by a lot of people. But pre-Ineos, so for the last 10 years, Joel Glazer had a reputation at United of being ridiculously hands-on a daily basis. To the impact that he actually slowed a lot of things down because he wanted a lot of things to go through him. I just don't think he's relinquished that control. I don't think that as a 50% owner of the club, the Glazers have said to Ineos, just crack on. So I still think that we operate quite similarly to how we always have. And the reason I say that is when you ask what's the progress on incomings, as we know from previous years, we are quite slow on transfers. We were slow in the summer. I thought we had a good window, but we were slow. Correct me if I'm wrong, De Ligt, Mazraoui, Agate were all quite late signings. We didn't get them for pre-season, did we? They didn't go on pre-season. Yoro went on pre-season and he got injured. And Xerxes, I don't think Xerxes went on pre-season either. So I thought last summer was a good transfer window, but let's not pretend it was quick. A lot of the deals took a lot of time. Agate wasn't here at the start of the season. That was an end of transfer window deal. So we're still really slow on transfers. And I don't think that that is a coincidence in relation to Joel Glazer still being here. So how does that impact the January transfer window? Well, we're still going to be slow. We want to be quick. It's the 10th of January tomorrow. We're a third of the way through the transfer window. Yes, it feels like 5 minutes ago we were chomping down on our turkey sandwiches at Christmas. But hello, my friends, we are currently a third of the way through this transfer window and nothing has happened. So I don't think we're moving quick. And I don't think we're moving quick because we're still very slow at transfers. Still, we were slow last year, we were slow last summer, and we're still slow now. I think what United are doing is an old Glazer trick where you focus on one deal at a time. And I think we're focusing on outgoings. I think we're focusing on Rashford, Casemiro, maybe Xerxes. I don't know what's going on with that. And once those have been done, I think we'll give ourselves a little bit of time at the end of the window to try and do something else. But after Arsenal, I think they'll be looking at the fixtures and going, they get quite easy now. Do we need signings? So I don't know. I don't know. I think it's been a very slow start in relation to incomings. And I genuinely couldn't tell you a player that we're looking to bring in apart from Moani. And again, that's going slow as well. Akil says Martinez on... Oh yeah, this is a good point. Akil makes a good point here. Martinez on set pieces against Arsenal. Also, don't keep expectations high on signings. Our football hierarchy is broken. Ineos are slow like the Glazers. Well, Akil, you just reminded me something about the Liverpool preview. I actually said against Liverpool I would drop Martinez, move Maguire to where he is, move De Ligt to where Maguire is and play Yoro because Liverpool are quite good at set pieces. Obviously, Amorim didn't do that, and Martinez was brilliant and scored a goal. So I don't think he's going to do it against Arsenal, but it did remind me, Akil, I did say that against Liverpool, so I can't knock you saying that because I do get what you mean. Abdi says, hi Mark, sorry if it's been asked before, but will United stand host Romano's this window? We've worked with Fabrizio for many years. In fact, we were working with Fabrizio before he was bloody massive. So we've always had a good relationship with Fabrizio on the United stand. But last summer was sort of like the last summer where we did the fortnightly shows because... And look, I'll always be honest with you if you ask me a question about anything. And we'd worked with Fabrizio for years, fantastic transfer expert. And I just think it was getting to the point where, one, obviously he gets paid to do it and it is quite expensive. And two, more importantly, Fabrizio gets stretched like Stretch Armstrong. So he has got podcasts and commitments. And I think, to be honest with you, it was starting to get to a point where, from our point of view, by the time we were doing that show, it had all gone out in a previous article or a previous tweet or anything like that. So, look, we love Fabrizio on this channel. He's brilliant. But realistically, I think it had run its course. I think when we started doing it, I used to be talking to him about Donny van der Beek before it was ever coming out. Whereas now, I think it was time to sort of like... The world's changed, hasn't it? The world has changed. But look, he's still very tapped in, and I would still be taking notice of anything that he was tweeting, etc. Tar for everything, you really make my day, says United Chow. What's Sean Dyche got to say about getting the sack? Well, you can check that out on the Ahmad reaction, because when I do Sean Dyche's impression, it really hurts my throat. So I've already done it once today. Thank you, Ben. Liam Riley says, if Casemiro and Eriksen leave in January, what happens if we get injuries? Sounds like short-sightedness with no incoming, says Liam. I think this is a great point, Liam. I mean, we absolutely have to move Casemiro on. I don't think Eriksen will go, by the way, because Eriksen's on 150 grand a week. Why would you go in January when you can go in the summer? It only benefits Man United to let Eriksen go in January because we'd get a transfer fee. Christian Eriksen, let me explain it to you, right? Christian Eriksen is a free agent in the summer. So on July the 1st, he can speak to any club and say, I'm free, so because you're not paying a fee for me, I want a signing on fee and I want a good wage. If he moves in January, Man United will say to that club, we want a fee, and then the club will have to give the fee to Man United and Eriksen won't get as good a fee. So there is no way Christian Eriksen is doing us a favour. The same way Anthony Martial didn't do it a year ago, and neither did Varane. So we have basically, we're going to lose Eriksen for nothing in the summer. That's what will happen. But that matters not to the point you make, because I would still say that if Casemiro goes, we are leaving ourselves very, very short, because if Agate gets injured, Casemiro can at least do that role. Whether he can do it well or not, he can do that role. If Agate gets injured, Eriksen cannot hold the midfield. So I wouldn't say what we're going to do if Eriksen and Casemiro goes. If Casemiro goes, we don't have anybody that can play that role. So I'm intrigued by that, because you cannot refuse offloading Casemiro for obvious reasons: wage, age, and contract. But if he does go, you're leaving yourself very, very short in a very important area. Caleb says, can't believe we didn't sign Mamouche. Has Mamouche gone anywhere yet? I know they're trying to get him at City, but I don't know whether he's gone anywhere yet. Arsenal set to battle with Man City, according to Give Me Sport. Yeah. Well, look, as I said, Manchester United are still selling this bollocks of not needing to be active in the January transfer window. And Manchester United, Man City and every other club are looking to do business in January. So, we're just behind, aren't we, on so many levels, and we're never going to close the gap by slowing down when other clubs are speeding up, and that's what seems to be happening there. I'm just having a look if there's any other news coming out. Man City are apparently about to sign somebody else for 50 million as well. What are Man City doing? Oh, I'll tell you what. Let me just have a look who this is. I don't even know who it is. Abdukoda Kuzanov is apparently going to sign to Man City. He's 20 and he's a centre-back from Lens. I mean, we're miles off. Let's put it like this, right? Manchester City and Man United, what have we got in common? We're both in Manchester. Man City are shit and still miles better than us. What are they doing about being a bit shit? They're buying players. What are Man United doing about being worse than shit Man City? Nothing. How will you close a gap on Man City when they're shit, they're buying players, and when we're worse than them, we're not? Anything on the FFP? I don't think they're going to get done, do you? You don't go around buying players if you're about to get done. Alvaro Fernandez, buyback clause surely, says Emil. Very quiet on that. Very, very quiet on that. Are we short on left-footed centre-backs? Says Silence. I think we're short on left-footed defenders, full stop. Mo says, financial year end being June means no January signings. Still a commercial club with Ineos as a front. You said Ineos will be judged on exits. They failed, says Mo. And who is affordable and good enough on the left, says Sahil. Well, you've sort of answered each other there, haven't you? We haven't got any money, so nobody's affordable. Why haven't we got any money? That you shouldn't accept. I don't accept that. I think a lot of United fans don't accept that. We get told it, but I don't accept it. It's not my problem. I don't need to accept that you haven't got any money. That's not my problem. That's your problem. Solve it. I'm not accepting it. So you can sit there and tell us that you're not spending money in January because you haven't got any money, but that's not my problem. We're Manchester United. We're a football club. We are falling behind everybody else. We need to bring players in. I am not accepting you haven't got any money because that's on you. We haven't got any money because of you. We haven't got any money because you did a deal with the people that put us in a position where we haven't got any money. I mean, a lifelong I've been wanting to say this for a while, and I'm just going to say it. A lifelong Manchester United fan who loves this football club would never have got into bed with the Glazers. Never. That's the thing that bothers me about Sir Jim Radcliffe. At no point has he evidenced that he is a lifelong Man United fan. We've been told it. We're told he's a local Man United fan, lifelong Man United fan. But at no point has he actually evidenced it yet. At no point has he actually done anything that makes me think he's got the best interests of the football club at heart. And when they say to us in January, we haven't got any money to spend, I put my hands up and say, yes, I'm fully aware that the club is in debt. I'm fully aware that we've wasted loads of money on transfers and we're probably right on the brink of FFP. I accept that. I accept it. But why are we in that position? Because of the Glazers, and you are working with them. A lifelong Man United fan who cares about the football club would never have done a deal with the Glazers because they would have despised them. They would go, absolutely not. I am not doing a deal with you. It's not going to happen. So you either sell me the club or I won't do a deal with you. And Sir Jim and Ineos did a deal with the Glazers, which any Man United fan wouldn't do. So when they say we've got no money to spend because of FFP, can we tell the truth? You've got no money to spend because the Glazers have basically bankrupted the club. That's why you haven't got any money. It's not the Premier League's fault. It's not FFP's fault. Man City can spend money. Liverpool can spend money. Spurs can spend money. Man United have not been penalised by the Premier League with FFP. We can't spend money because the Glazers have absolutely screwed the fucking club over. We haven't got any manoeuvrability because they've fucked the club, basically. We've got nowhere to go. So just remember that. When you hear people or a voice in your head saying, to be fair, we have got to wait till the summer because we can't spend any money, just ask yourself why we can't spend any money. We're one of the richest clubs in the world when it comes to revenue and turnover, but none of that makes any difference because we've got so much debt and we've spent so much money badly. Now, if Sir Jim Radcliffe had bought all the club and cleared the debts, we would be in a better situation and we would certainly be in a better situation in this January transfer window. But we're not in a better situation because we are absolutely screwed. And I would say this, when it comes to knocking Old Trafford down, which is probably going to be Sir Jim Radcliffe's legacy, and I think in 20 years that will be a bad legacy, who is paying for this new £2 billion stadium? How is a club riddled with debt going to build a £2 billion stadium? Exactly. How much of this new stadium's actually going to be debt as well? We are closer becoming Everton than a top club, says Mario Franco. Look, I genuinely think when I look at that, and I look at Sunday, and I look at Amorim, it's a positive. But I do think that Amorim is a guy that is going to have to be Sir Alex Ferguson on Red Bull. He is going to have to be unbelievable. Because people say that Sir Alex Ferguson was a one-off and he rebuilt this football club from the ashes. Sir Alex Ferguson spent a shit load of money between 1986 and I don't know when it stopped. I mean, we broke the British transfer record for Roy Keane in 1992, I think it was, maybe 3. We spent a lot of money on Rooney. But before that, in the late 80s, we spent shitloads of money. Shitloads of money. So people say, we need Amorim to be Sir Alex. Can I just remind those people, Sir Alex Ferguson was a one-off legend. But he still had a lot of money. Amorim has got to be Sir Alex and do it without money, basically. And I wish people would realise how hard his job is. Because Sir Alex performed a bloody miracle, but he did have a lot of money. Amorim has got to perform the same bloody miracle, and he doesn't seem to have any fucking money. So it's a hard job, and I think that always needs to be in people's heads, because I believe in Amorim. I think he talks sense. I think he's a fantastic coach, but bloody hell, his job's hard. I mean, let me remind you, what are Ineos doing? There's no money, there's no money, there's no money. Hold on a minute. This is Amorim's first bloody window. It's his first transfer window, and you're saying there's no money. We're waiting until the summer. If we don't qualify for Europe, there'll be even less money. So no money in January and no money, not a lot of money in the summer. And this is a new manager. Bloody hell. It's tough, isn't it? So we need a Sir Alex, but we can't give him the money Sir Alex had. It's his first transfer window. We're not going to give him any money. And also, remember, he's only got a 2.5-year contract. So a 2.5-year contract means that at the end of next season, they've got to make a decision because no manager goes into the final year. So at the end of next season, they've got to make a decision. So that means he's got this transfer window, the summer transfer window, and next January. Well, we're not doing anything in this January, the summer transfer window, and we probably won't do anything in January next. So he's got one transfer window to convince Ineos that he's the guy. It's just, it doesn't make any sense, does it? But you don't get this sort of conversation unless you're here because other people don't want to have it. They don't want to scratch the surface of Amorim could be our Sir Alex. And you go, I hope he is. Unlikely because Sir Alex was a one-off legend, but let's not forget, Sir Alex had a shitload of money at the start. Where's that for Amorim? This is Amorim's first transfer window. A prime opportunity to give the manager that you brought in players that suit his system. No. Where are they? And his contract's not that long when you think about it. 2.5 years. Half of that, you're not giving him any bloody money. You know what I would love to know, actually? Somebody said this to me last night on That's Football Watch Along. If you could ask Sir Jim Radcliffe one question, what would it be? Well, I've got hundreds, but I would like to ask this question because he should be able to answer it. What is it? Even it's so good I can't even think how to word it. Where has Amorim got to be in your mind in 18 months? When you make the decision on whether you're extending his contract or not, in 18 months, so a year in June, where has Amorim got to be for you to keep him or sack him? Because the answer to that question would be very, very compelling. Because in 18 months, I wouldn't even necessarily put us in the top 6 based on lack of activity at the moment, problems in the squad, a reduced budget in the summer if we're not in Europe. In 18 months, I can think of 8 clubs in England that are in a better position than we are. But what does Sir Jim think? Is he expecting Champions League football in 18 months? Because if he is, that's scary. That's really scary. I think in 18 months, where we are at the moment, 8th place might actually not be inconceivable. We should consider Ighalo, says Kaylee. I don't even know if Ighalo's still playing. City think they've won the court case, says Josh. Well, maybe they've been told they have. Are we short on left-footed centre-backs? We've done that from silence as well. Lawrence Morris says, what is the deal by which you take out the Glazers? I think that chance has gone. Shah says, it's a brilliant question. He'd probably sack him like he did with Ashworth. That's the scariest thing of all, though, because we don't know why Dan Ashworth got sacked, and we don't know what it was that made them give Ten Hag a contract and then sack him quite quickly. If anything, you could say that Ineos have quite short fuses. You know, they back Ten Hag, they give him money, and then 3 months later they sack him. They get Dan Ashworth in, and within months they sack him. So it looks like they've got quite a short fuse. The scary thing is, what are their standards and are they realistic? What is it they think Amorim can do in 18 months? Because if they think they need to be in Champions League spot in 18 months and we're not, and they sack him, they're bloody idiots. Because I don't put us in... If he gets us into the Champions League in 18 months, the guy's a bloody miracle worker. The stupid thing is, we could be in the Champions League in 6 months, because I still think we can win the Europa League, but I think that's going to be very, very difficult if we don't bring players in January. Prediction for youth player to break through, says Emil. This season, not sure. I thought it was going to be Collier, maybe Amas. It looks like they're both available on loan. What we're hearing is, good question by the way, because we do hear more from the youth setup than we do from the first team. What we're hearing from the youth setup is that Amorim is unlikely to use any young players. He doesn't want to use young players at this time because it's hard. You know, it's a hard situation, and he doesn't feel that it's fair to be blooding young players in a situation that's very volatile. So that's why people like Collier and Amas are up for loan. Collier was playing games for United under Ten Hag, but it's a different world. Amorim does want to use youth, and his history at Sporting is to promote youth, but in this period, he's very much that it's a really difficult period. It's not the ideal period to be blooding young players. So I don't know whether we'll see any young players between now and the summer. I think we probably will do next year. I'll be keeping an eye on Koné. I think he looks like he's not going to be that far off. Hopefully people like Obi Martin as well. But I don't think we'll use many youth players between now and the end of the summer, because I think it's a horrible situation to throw players into. But I might be wrong on that one. Charles says, I'm much happier with Amorim than I was with Ten Hag. I think it's the communication of Amorim. I mean, I didn't, I backed Ten Hag and I will back Amorim. I'm just a firm believer that the manager is not the problem at Man United. But yeah, I mean, it's whatever you think about Ten Hag, he couldn't communicate the way Amorim can. Amorim has built a relationship with the fans that is an exclusive relationship, and that means a lot. We spend money sacking Ten Hag and hiring Amorim, says Tom. We did. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. Absolute legends tonight. Really enjoyed the show. Actually enjoyed that last 10 minutes as well. I mean, sometimes I think you wander into an area with this community that you weren't planning on, and it just becomes very crystal clear, doesn't it? I think they're failing Amorim at the moment. I hadn't really thought about it for a while, but I think they're failing him. This is his first January transfer. It's his first transfer window and they're doing nothing. It doesn't bode well, does it? If I'm Amorim sat here and I'm going, they've brought me in, they've took me out of Sporting, and in my first window, they're doing nothing. It doesn't bode well for me that they're doing nothing. They need to do more. Thanks everyone for watching. Great conversation tonight. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. We're back in the morning at 10. There'll be a press conference tomorrow with Amorim as well to react to. Yeah, lots to get involved in. Take care, and I will speak to you later. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and smash a like. Thanks for watching.